Are you unhappy with your smile? Has it got a tooth missing or more than one tooth, or perhaps whole arches of teeth missing? This presentation is here today to show you how to overcome these, but also how to do it in something that fits your budget. So stay tuned and hope you enjoy it. My name's Jamie Harris. I've been a dentist for some 35 years. I'm very skilled in just about every form of dentistry, but in particular implants, crown and bridge, and those sort of things. So we're going to show you today what happens if you've got a missing tooth or teeth and what your options are. Of course, one of them is to do nothing. You can have a partial denture, of which are acrylic and chrome. You can have a bridge, or you can have an implant. We'll now take you through and show you how these work and what the pros and cons of each of them are. So the do nothing one is, well, you go around and you've got a gap there and everyone's going to notice it, and it doesn't look very nice. But it keeps all your options open for later on down the road. Next option is to do what they call an acrylic denture. This is probably the cheapest way out of things, and often you're sort of looking around about $1,000, $1,100. You can notice that these are reasonably thick in the acrylic part there, hence they're not all that comfortable, and they've got a greater tendency to break much more easily than perhaps the chrome denture. Now the chrome denture, you can see, is metal, so A, it's a lot stronger, can stay away from the gums and tissues, so it's easy to clean and maintain, easy to eat and chew and talk and everything like that. And the chance of breaking this are a lot less. You notice how thin they are, so that you get a lot more strength and comfort wearing these, but they're nothing like having your own teeth. Which brings us to the bridge. Now with a bridge, it's basically they take a shaving off the teeth either side, and they make a series of crown, and another crown and heel. They join all three together, as you can see on the other side. When the bridge is cemented in, it gives you a long-lasting solution. This is usually done fairly quickly, and everything's completed in 2 to 3 weeks. I recommend this if this or this tooth are very heavily filled. It can be a really good option. But if these teeth are in really good health, then perhaps it's not a good option, and you need to look at other things, such as an implant, to see if it's suitable for you. So what is an implant? Well, first of all, it's made up of 3 components. The actual implant, which is placed in surgically, and then after a healing period they put an abutment on, and then a crown goes over the top of all that. This metal part is made of titanium, and it's hidden below the gum and in the bone. So implants were developed about 30 years ago, and over the years that have ensured, technology has managed to catch up, allowing things to have a longer success rate and greater aesthetics and everything like that. Nowadays, depending on which arch you're doing, whether it's the top arch or the bottom arch, you have about a 95% success rate. And using treatment plans and payment plans, you can actually spread your payments out as well, so that everything comes out at a very low weekly rate. In fact, if you're picking the right one, you can be looking around about $25 a week. So this puts it within reach of everybody now. So what are the implants used for? Well, firstly, you can do something like this, which is a single implant, which is the most common thing. Sometimes they put 3 or 4 of them in a row, and you can support a denture on that. Or you can do what they call a fixed bridge, which is more expensive, but all of them will give you a good lasting result. The advantage of this type of thing here with a denture is that instead of a denture moving around, it's actually anchoring that denture back with the bone. How does it work? You have an initial consultation where we gather x-rays, photos, models, 3D scan possibly. Occasionally, you need to go through and fix up everything else in the mouth, so that's all up to scratch, such as fillings, extractions, cleans, etc. At this point in time, you can do the surgery to put the implant in. Now, depending where it is in the mouth, they may make a temporary crown, or if it's down the back, they just put a little healing cap on. Sometimes there's not much bone there, and it's done. They put a little grafting material around to build up the bone around the actual tooth or implant. It can be done under general anaesthetic or local anaesthetic. General anaesthetic obviously adds a lot more cost to it. You then take the impression for the crown of the denture, and we leave that in there for around about 12 to 16 weeks later after the implant's in. We can then insert the crown or the denture within about 2 to 3 weeks after this period of time. You should normally keep a 6-monthly checkup after that. So in simple terms, it's 4 months. In more complex terms, you're looking around about 7 months. So what's the advantage of x-rays? First of all, the x-rays tell us how much bone there is there and whether we can or can't put an implant in an area. For instance, if you look in this area here, we can see we've got plenty of bone. The sinuses are well clear. Sometimes the sinuses come down like this, and you have to build them up with bone grafts. These types of procedures are more skillful and may need a specialist and can add to the cost. You'll also notice this dark area down here, for instance. This is where the nerve is. In this case, there's plenty of bone here, so we can put an implant into these different areas. This person here has had extractions, and sometimes you can put an implant straight into an area, but when they're this big, then you need to look at building out and letting that heal before you put an implant in. So there's the healing site when it's initially first done. This needs at least 3 months. I normally wait for 6 months myself before building that up and putting the implant in. Sometimes if it's a small socket area, you can put the implant straight in the same day as the tooth's taken out. So once the back area heals up properly, we can then look at the area to put in an implant. So the implant would then be put in with what we call a healing cap on top, which would sit there for another further 3 to 6 months while that bone heals around the implant. So once the implant is what we call integrated with the bone, we can then build it up and put what we call the abutment on and then the crown on top. There's a permanent fixture and it's screwed into the titanium implant and gives you a lasting solution. Common questions. Does it hurt? No, look, it can be done under a local anaesthetic very quickly and easily, and this is the cheapest way of doing it. Can you go back to work? Look, we'd probably recommend you have the day off. Can you wear your plate straight after surgery? Best to leave it out as much as you can, but yes, you can do it, particularly if it's a front tooth. You can also build up a temporary crown on the front tooth in various different ways as well. No, you won't see any metal. Can it chew anything after it's all completed? Absolutely, just treat it like a normal tooth. How long will it last? Well, provided you've got good health, not a diabetic, on various medications, you have a very long-lasting, secure result. What's the cost of the implants? Well, first of all, when you come to see us, your initial consultation is free. Fees vary from dentist to dentist, but they can be as little as $3,500 to $6,000 plus for implant surgery, the implant placement, the abutment and the crown. Sometimes there are extra costs, and this is why we like to have the implant, initial consultation with you. So you can see things such as temporary crowns or denture, bone grafting, sinus lifting, 3D imaging are sometimes required. Regarding health fund, when you come to your initial consultation, we'll give you an itemised quote so that you can check with your health fund. Well, how much is it all going to cost? Well, depending on the type of payment plan that you select, you can be costing as little as $25 a week. Does that sound okay? To find out more about these, go to dentalmagic.com.au. Also, so the type of payment plan company that you select will determine how low. So the ones that charge you interest basically you can spread your payments out over longer periods of time, and therefore the weekly amount is a lot less. They all have different terms and conditions, so please see the website Dental Metric or Affordable Smiles. Also, there's a lot of other ways that you can save in your dental bills. We'd highly recommend that you go to 100 ways to save on dental.com. There's no AU there. In there you'll find that you've got lots of different ways that you can actually achieve what you're after with all your dentistry, not just this particular area. So yes, if you've got other further questions, please feel free to ring us on this number here, even if it's after hours you wish, or you can email me at topgundentist@gmail.com. We'll look forward to catching you in the near future for your initial complimentary consultation. Regards, Jamie Harris.